So we're going to start off with solving quadratics with square roots level 1. And we're going to solve the following quadratic equation for all values of x in simplest form. Before I do that, just to remind you guys, there's a show example button on the top right corner here, and there's a watch help video button over here, just in case you prefer to use those. But let's do some examples together. So I'm going to annotate on my computer screen. It's going to be messy. I apologize in advance, but writing on a computer screen is hard. So we're going to solve for x. First step is to get rid of that minus 2. So I'm going to do the opposite of subtracting 2, which is adding 2. That way, since they are opposites, these will cancel out. I will be left with 4 parentheses x minus 7 squared equals 4. I'm going to rewrite that just so that I have more space. So I'm literally just rewriting it. 4 parentheses x minus 7 squared equals 4. Okay, so I just rewrote it. So from here, we want to get this piece by itself. Okay, so to do that, we're going to divide both sides by 4. So I'm going to divide by 4. That way, these can cancel out. Because our parentheses was being multiplied to 4, so you get rid of that by dividing by 4. Okay, and then you get x minus 7. Oh my gosh. Squared equals 4 divided by 4 is just 1. After this, now that our parentheses is being squared, we can square root both sides. I'm just going to write it like that, square root everything. And then the square root and the square will cancel with each other, so you get x minus 7 is equal to the square root of 1. So remember that the square root of 1 is positive or negative. Okay, so you can have positive 1 squared equals 1 or negative 1 squared equals 1. So that's why the square root of positive 1 will give you positive or negative 1. And then the way you read this symbol is plus or minus. So x minus 7 equals plus or minus 1. I'm going to rewrite this over here because it's where I have space. So you don't have to rewrite it if you're copying this. Plus or minus 1. So that literally says plus sign with a minus underneath, plus or minus 1. So when you have it say something is equal to plus or minus a number, that means you actually have two solutions. Your first solution has x minus 7 is equal to positive 1, and then your other solution has x minus 7 equal to negative 1. You literally split it up into two different solutions. And then now we can solve for x. We're going to get two x values. Let's do this side first. So if I add 7 on both sides, these will cancel out. You get x is equal to 8. Here's one answer. Let's do the other side. You're going to add 7, add 7. These cancel out, and you get x is equal to 6. So for this problem, we will have two answers, x equals 8 and x equals 6. I'm going to pause the recording here and see if you guys have any questions. Okay, so remember, we're going to press this plus sign button to give us a second box. And that way, oops, I didn't mean to click that. That way you can press 8 in the first box and 6 in the second box. And by the way, you can put 8 in the first and 6 in the second, or you can switch it. 6 and then 8. It doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. These are just saying there's two answers. One of the answers is 6. The other answer is 8. It doesn't matter if you switch it out. All right. And nobody said to wait. So I believe that you guys understand this problem. So I'm going to submit it. And we got it right. So let me clear the screen and let's go on to another one. Next problem. Okay. So I think if I scroll like that, that should be enough space. All right, so for this problem, same process. We want to get the x by itself, so our first step is to add 47 to both sides. We get parentheses x minus 4 squared equals, because those cancel out, 979. Okay, I'm going to continue this over here. I'm just going to rewrite it. I didn't change anything. I just rewrote it because I need more space. So now that we got the parentheses squared is equal to 79, we want to get the parentheses on its own by square rooting everything. So I'm going to square root both sides. So we square root both sides. The square root and the squared cancel out. We get x minus 4 is equal to the square root of 79. That is not a nice number for us, so I'm just going to leave it as square root of 79, but don't forget there is a plus or minus in front of it. So you can either get positive square root of 79 or negative square root of 79. From here, we have two answers. We have x minus 4 equals positive square root 79. And then I guess I could write it over here. X minus 4 is equal to negative square root 79. Before I continue, are there any questions up until here? Okay, so once you split up into these two little solutions, all you have to do is solve for x. So I'm just going to add 4 on both sides here. That cancels these out. You get x is equal to 4 plus square root of 79. You just want to leave it in this form. You don't want to turn it into a decimal. You just want to have it as 4 plus square root of 79. So this is one answer. Let's take a look at our other one. Add 4, add 4. These cancel out. You get x is equal to 4 minus the square root of 79. Because this one was a negative square root of 79, so it's just 4 minus square root of 79. So we have our two answers, the 4 plus square root 79 and then the 4 minus square root of 79. And then let's see, let me show you which button again. This button will help you get two answer boxes. So I'm going to press that button and I'm going to type my two answers, 4 plus square root 79, and then over here 4 minus square root of 79. So before I go ahead and submit this, are there any questions? Submit answer. If I go too fast though, you can still type wait in the chat and I will wait for you. So I just give 10 seconds just because I can't really see, what's what you guys are writing or how your expressions look. Okay, next problem. Let's do one more of these. And annotate and write in black. Okay, so once again, let's get our x by itself. And to start off with, we want to add 19 to both sides. We will get 2 parentheses x plus 8 squared. Those cancel out because the minus 19 and the plus 19 cancel out. And then here we have 50. Sorry, that says 50. I'm going to rewrite it because it's messy and because you need more space. So I just rewrote it here. Our next step is to try to get the parentheses by itself. So I'm going to divide everything by 2. Dividing by 2 because right now the 2 got multiplied to the parentheses, so you must do the opposite of multiplying. We're going to divide by 2 so that we can cancel it out. That gives us x plus 8 in the parentheses squared equals 25. Sorry, I know I left a gap there, but I just didn't want to make it too messy looking. So x plus 8 squared equals 25. Now, to cancel out the squared, we're going to square root everything. So that gives us x plus 8. Notice the square root and the squared cancel out. And then what is the square root of 25? Well, you get a plus or minus 5, because 5 squared is 25. So we have two solutions. I'll write them out like this. The first one says x plus 8 equals positive 5. The next one says x plus 8 equals negative 5. Remember, plus or minus means there's two solutions. Your first one's the positive, your second one's the negative. So we have x plus 8 equals positive 5, and the second one is x plus 8 equals negative 5. And then from here, we are going to subtract 8. That way those cancel out. We get x is equal to negative 3. Here's one answer. Let's do the other answer. Subtract 8. X, those cancel out, equals negative 13. So we have our two answers. And then remember to type it into Delta Math. You use that plus sign button, and that plus sign button will give you a second box to type an answer in. So you can do -3 here and then -13 over here, or you could switch the order, it doesn't matter. So I could have put the -13 first and then the -3. It will both be marked as correct. Are there any questions on this one? And we submit, and we got it right, which is great. And let's clear the screen and go to the next video.